Wow.
Driving the limo today.
All right. As far as injuries go, just Lucas won't practice today. Everybody else will be at practice. Look forward to playing the challenge of playing the Cowboys. They're a good football team. We understand that. And we've got to have a good week of preparation starting today. So, again, our guys will be ready by the end of the week. But that time's yours.
One thing about the Raiders game, it looked like Travis was getting off the line scrimmage clean a lot. I'm just how much of that is just purely up to the defense? How much can you manipulate with motion and maybe even conversations with the officials?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the combination of all the above. But Trev's done it. He's worked hard at it here to get that done. He knows what teams are doing. So, I thought he was very physical in that game. They had a kid, the big corner, 35 was, he was strong. So Trev, when he came off, he established who was stronger. So I mean that becomes important. Yeah. But he's worked, like I said, he's worked very hard at that.
Coach, people ask, are the Chiefs back? Is the Chiefs offense back?
Yeah, listen, I think you see it in this league every Sunday that there are teams that get beat that aren't favored to get beat. So from my standpoint as a coach, I mean, every day is important for you in your preparation, how you handle it mentally. Do you let yourself get carried away with what went on, against the Raiders, or do you bear down and get yourself right for a good Cowboy team coming in? And starting today, and one day at a time, one play at a time, that whole thing there. So becomes so important. So that's where we're at. And we look forward to people coming to Arrowhead. I'm not going to sit here and tell you we don't want them excited. We like that. I mean, that's a great thing. But as a football team, we got to make sure we take care of our business, and that's most important for us right now.
You mentioned the Cowboys. It's been a few years since you have played them. What stands out to you about how Dak Prescott and Zeke Elliott are utilizing that offense?
Well, they're the number one offense in the league, and a few different categories. So, they're Dak is very good, and so is Ezekiel. I mean, they're both good football player, Pro Bowl football players. So, along with their cast there, they've got a lot of good players on that on that side of the ball. It's a great challenge for our defense, and so the guys know that. You turn on the tape, you can see it. But that's why we do this too. So our guys will work hard on trying to make sure they understand the scheme. They do a nice job. Coordinator, head coach are both really creative offensive minds. So, we'll just bear down this week, make sure we get ourselves right.
Coach, specifically with Dak Prescott, just curious your thoughts on him and his game.
Yeah, he's an excellent player, smart kid, and he has a good feel for the pass game. He can run the ball when he needs to. He's got tremendous people around him that understand what he's trying to get done.
Coach, when it comes to Clyde, whether or not to bring him back, how much are you discussing? Is it worth just giving him the extra week, considering you have no game?
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance we go that direction. We're just looking to see how he does this week, and then we'll go from there. But if we feel like he's not ready, then we won't put him in there.
Andy, with two games with Melvin Ingram, I'm just wondering from your standpoint, how does he help everybody else on the defensive line from what you've seen on film?
Yeah, he's done a great job since he's been here. He's a natural leader. He's been around the league. He knows, or he's been in the league a number of years, and he knows what it takes to be great. I mean, he's been a great player. That's what he's been. I mean, and I welcome him in here. I've had to go against him for all that time, so it's good to have him on our side. and right now he's playing a lot and doing a nice job of what he's been asked to do. And I'm glad he's here.
Andy, wanted to ask you about your rookie class, with a couple of offensive linemen. We're talking Nick Bolton later today, but then obviously Noah catches the touchdown. Are you pretty pleased with what you received from him so early on?
Yeah, I mean, Brett and his crew did a nice job bringing guys in. I mean, Bolton, I mean, just his numbers alone are tremendous. And then his knack for the game, just that feel that he's got. Smart kid, doesn't say much. If you're interviewing him, you might not get a whole lot, but he talks on the field and he's accurate with what he's putting out there. So all that senior leadership that we have on the defense, they're willing to listen to him because they know he knows his stuff. So, and then to have Hitch there for him has been like A plus. That's to be able to talk to him and understand the game like Hitch does, and be able to share that, I think is big.
And regarding Bolton, a lot of times it takes young guys some time before Steve is comfortable playing with them. Is he maybe ahead of the curve a little bit in that regard? I know you don't have any predetermined notions, but is he maybe ahead of where you thought he might be at this point?
Yeah, well, I mean, you always kind of hope that they're the same thing they are when they were in college. So we had heard all of that. When we talked to them, we felt that. Brett's crew felt that. And then he got here and we go, okay, he's quiet, but he knows everything. And he doesn't make the same mistake twice, which ends up being real important for, that whole learning curve thing and getting it right. So he's done a nice job with all that. But to say he's ahead, we were hoping he would be here, and he is. That's a lot easier said than done.
What about the two rookie offensive linemen? Are they sort of ahead of maybe where you projected them to be at this
Yeah, you're never that position. You're never quite sure how that's going to transition. That's with the big guys, and so especially at the center spot, you come in and you've got all this stuff dumped on you, the mental part of the game, and Creed's handled that, and then Trey has brought a different style in there, so that he's going to maul you and try to beat you up and that whole deal. So he does a nice job with that. There's a physical presence to his game. Both of them have a ton of room to grow, but they're sure doing a nice job right now.
The cornerback number 7, Diggs. When you recall ever seeing just a year like this and how aware you have to be about him?
Yeah, you can tell he's a receiver because he kind of plays the route, and then he's got great hands. So that shows up, and he's long, tall. Got a great feel. Yeah, great feel.
Couple more guys.
Coach, a lot of tradition between this game, especially Dave Matthew, Lamar Hunt, and Jerry Jones.
Sure.
I know we probably won't get Clark this week, but has he talked to you about the Preston Road Trophy and how important it would be for him to get that?
Well, I've known about it. We had a chance to play in the first year, so
Right.
they educated me on it real quick. So I've got that. I know that. Yeah, it is a rivalry in a sort. So from where the Chiefs started in Dallas and then moved out of there and came to Kansas City. So and then the Hunts still live there and not too far from Jerry. So it's that's a neat deal. You have college rivalries like that where they pass a trophy, and that's what they do here. So I think that's neat. Yeah.
Last two will go Sam, then Matt.
When you mentioned the physicality that you're receiving for those two rookies, but also the entire offensive line, this may be oversimplifying it, but do you feel like that's really aided your play action? Obviously, your play action was really successful on Sunday in particular.
Yeah, I think, and we can be better as we go here. So, but the run games help that. The ability to come off the ball and smack people. That ends up being important for the quarterback working things under center. The run game and the pass game has also been a plus. So it's a bunch of stuff thrown in there, but the more physical you can be up front and the better you run the ball, in theory, the better your play action should be.
Last one, Matt.
Coach, is there a salute to service game this weekend? Just what's this game specifically mean to you in terms of what it means on a larger scale?
Yeah, well, I had a chance to go over to Afghanistan and kind of witness it myself over there, just a small part of it, but I thought it was awesome. I mean, it was phenomenal. I wish every 16-year-old could go over there and see what goes on, the organization, the love for the country, all those things that I think are important. We've had this society going longer as a unit than any one that's existed in the world. So you see why when you go over there, and there's just a strength to it, which gives you comfort here to do what we do, all of us. So kind of neat. Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, do you look like a?
Did you grow up a Dallas Cowboys fan?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm from around that area. So my dad was a big Dallas Cowboys fan. So I got to watch a lot of games growing up. But I won't be a fan this week for sure.
What stands out to you the most when you look at that Cowboys defense?
Yeah, I mean, they play extremely hard. I think that's the main thing. They have playmakers over there, but they don't give up on any play. They're flying around trying to make plays happen. And whenever you have defenses that have playmakers and play hard every single play, that's a tough defense to go up against.
Patrick, it's one thing to feel better about the game. What did you look back at the film and say, I was doing this better and I need to continue that this week?
Yeah, I think just taking what was there, especially early in the game, not trying to force it, letting the big plays kind of come to me. And I think we saw that when you're patient, you take what's there and you execute. Defense will eventually come up, and then you'll be able to hit some of those shots later in the game.
Patrick, you talked about Dak before as a guy you watch video of and try to learn some things.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on his game, and have you learned anything from the way he plays?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, first off, he's a tremendous leader. I think I think that you can see that even when you're just watching as a fan of him and of them. And so for him, he's a tremendous leader. He's been a starter in the league for a long time now. He's athletic. You can see that by the way he played in college, and he can make a lot of big-time throws. And so they have a great offense over there. They have a great team over there. So it'll be a great challenge for us to going up against them this week.
In the early film study for this game, how aware do you have to be of just Trevon Diggs and where he is at each play?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's. I mean, when you have that many interceptions, that means you know what's going on. You have an understanding of what the offense is trying to do. So you definitely have to have an eye on him at all times because he's going to wait for his opportunity, and usually when he gets his hands on it, he ends up making the catch. So definitely a great player, someone you have to pay attention to on every single snap, and try to find ways that you can have success in either other places or on him in certain areas.
Patrick, was that defense that you guys saw on Sunday sort of the first one that was different, I guess, this season?
In a sense, I think it still had the same principles. I mean, people were talking about it being a single safety middle defense, but if you really know the ins and out of that defense, it plays a lot like too high. I mean, we've had trouble with that defense in the past, and so we found ways to just kind of be patient. It's the same thing, had to be patient early, and then when they played some man coverage later in the game, we hit some big shots. So I mean, it was different because it didn't start off with too high, but in a sense, I mean, that's what they were trying to get to. And so for us, we just executed better this last game.
Do you still feel like what you guys were able to execute can translate when you revert back to some of these defenses that you've been seeing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a battle. I mean, every single week. I mean, obviously, I'm sure they're going to do some different type of too high stuff, but they'll try to have mix-ups too. They're not going to sit back and give us the exact same coverage every single time. I mean, they're going to try to find ways to confuse me and to confuse this offense, and so we have to make in-game adjustments and still take what's there. And then whenever the shots do present itself, we have to hit those.
We've been asking you about the chemistry with the offensive line since training camp, but at least these last couple of weeks, you seem comfortable there. Have you seen that evolution continue with those guys? And obviously, this last week and a half or so has been with Wiley at the right side. How's that come along for you?
Yeah, I mean, they've gotten better and better each and every week. I mean, you would expect it. They've always had the talent, but whenever you're an offensive line, it takes playing together. It takes going through adversity together. It takes going through great times together. And so you've seen that they've gotten better and better each and every week, and they have the talent. I mean, every single one of those guys. And then when you add in a guy like Wiley, who I've played with a while now. He's a guy that's going to battle. He's going to fight to the very end, and you saw that this last week when he went up against a really good defensive end and held his own. So, I mean, I have all the trust in the world in those guys up front, and they're going to keep getting better as the season goes.
What about specifically Reid, obviously having to be in the middle of that offensive line? Andy just mentioned all the stuff that gets dumped on a young center. What's different from him right now from week one?
Yeah, I mean, I think he just feels more comfortable. I mean, he's played good the entire season. But I think the more you see that he's seen more and more defenses, he's seen more and more pressures and blitzes, and he understands what we're trying to do as an offense. That center position is kind of like the quarterback. You get more comfortable the more snaps that you get. And so he now he can kind of let his talent be shown. He can go out there and be who he is because he has a comfortability with the offense.
Surprising is too that he is able to grasp all that as a rookie.
Yeah, I mean it is. I mean that he started a lot at Oklahoma. He started a lot, I'm sure, in high school. And he came in with the mindset of he wanted to be the best that he could possibly be for this team. And so when you have guys that work hard every single day and take in everything, I mean, there are going to be a certain few mistakes here and there, but if they learn from it, don't make the same mistake twice. They can be great players.
You mentioned Bouchel this weekend with the video. Then the Cardinals tried to apparently poach him, and now he's on the 53. What does it mean to him to kind of get that? What did you see that led you to believe he deserves that kind of call up?
Yeah, I mean, he puts in the work every single day. I mean, he's a guy that, I mean, he's has a lot of energy. I mean, that role, when you're not playing a lot that first year, you can kind of lose and you can kind of be lazy. And I mean, he hasn't shown that. He's in every single day with us, me and Chad, getting in and learning as much as possible. I had to tell Cliff to stay away from my guy. But so, I mean, he's someone that he puts in the work and he deserved this opportunity, and I'm happy for him.
Earlier today, Coach McCarthy said he's going to be having his team work the scramble drill a lot more this week because they're playing you. When you hear that, does that make you say, all right, I'm going to sit in the pocket, or I'm still going to continue to do what I do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to continue to do what I do. I haven't scrambled as much this year. But I mean, it's always been a part of our game. But I mean, they have a great scrambling quarterback too. So I'm sure they've seen it a lot in preseason and training camp and all that different type of stuff. So for me, it's just taking what the defense gives me. And then if I need to scramble, make a play happen, I'll try to do that.
Patrick, I know there's a lot of factors about determining where the ball goes, right? Obviously, but is there a commonality in the games where Travis gets a lot of targets and gets a lot of corrections that common denominator?
I think it's just kind of how the flow of the game, honestly. I mean, we go into each and every game. We have certain plays called for certain guys. But until you get out there and see what the defense is presenting you, you don't necessarily know who's going to get the football. And so that's what we try to emphasize to all these receivers and all these tight ends and running backs is we go into the game having a game plan, but it can change in an instant. You have to be able to make adjustments. You have to be able to run routes to get other people open. And I think our guys do that.
We know Travis is very boisterous, but what's it like with him in the middle of the game? How much does he have a voice in the huddle with you? And what's it like to watch him sort of have sort of an impression on everybody on the team?
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that's done it for a while now. I mean, might be a few grays in those beard. I mean, he's done it. He's done it for a long time. And when you have a guy that's had that much success and he's able to show his emotion, and kind of he wants to fight to the very end, it kind of bleeds through the rest of the team. A guy that, I mean, he could come in and just do his job and get out of here, but he's in here all the time. He's working his tail off, and so you want guys like that on your team.
Last one, Matt. Patrick, you've had a chance to watch the film now. What do you think of Daryl's touchdown catch on Sunday?
Yeah, it probably saved me an interception, first off. So, I mean, I underthrew it. I tried to throw it in the back corner of the end zone, but, I mean, he jumped up there and made a play. Like I said after the game, he says he can make all these catches, but to see it in person, now I'm about to give him a few more opportunities.
Thanks, guys.
Nick, what were your expectations for yourself for your rookie season, and where are you in terms of meeting those goals?
I really came in every week trying to get a little bit better. I feel like I kind of done that to this point. Just trying to put myself in the best position to help our team win, and so we got 3 in a row. Kind of keep it going. So I'm proud of where I'm at, but still trying to get better.
The Titans game where it felt like everything really started to slow down and click for you, and speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, the Titans game, things started to slow down a little bit. Went back to play Mike, and then coming back from the outside, games start to slow down for you when you go from outside in. So games kind of slowing down a little bit better, sinking in a little bit better. Just trying to get better every single week still, though.
Does that experience that might kind of help you with some of the other positions that you might be mixing in that?
Oh yeah, for sure. Easily, you got communication. You know what everybody else is doing from being in the middle. I kind of know what those guys are doing beside you, and then also going from the outside, you kind of know what the interior guys are doing as well. So everything helps.
Are there particular areas you're looking to improve on in the second half of the season?
I'm just gonna get better in pass coverage and tackling. I feel like playing linebacker tackling is always something that you always can improve on. I had a couple missed tackles earlier and kind of knocked those out as we keep going.
What's been your biggest surprise playing in the NFL?
Biggest surprise coming in was the speed of the game. That's probably the biggest part up to this point. Kind of slowed down a little bit for me, getting more comfortable, and so I'm excited what the rest of the season has in store.
Speaking to the coverage aspect, you had the rep with Darren Waller just kind of running straight down the field, stride for stride with him. Where do you feel like you are right now in your coverage abilities from week 1 to now to where you want to be?
I'm tremendously better than I was in week 1, more comfortable wise, but again, still not where I want to be. I got a couple plays out there I feel like I could have made up to this point in the season. So in the back half, I hope to make those.
What stands out to you the most about the Cowboys offense when you look at them, especially defending against a guy like Kelce?
Oh yeah, they got 2 great backs, wonderful wide receivers, great quarterback. So it's going to be up to us to handle our business in that aspect, stop the run, and also just contain the pass catches to explosives when we can. And so just coming in, just trying to handle that part of the aspect of it and just kind of minimize explosive plays.
How invaluable is it for you to have a player like Hitch with you and how he's taught you basically in your rookie season, but not only to have him, but just some guidance in and out of practice?
Yeah, it's like I said, Hitch has always been an extension of a coach for me. He's been here, done a lot, seen a lot. I've been here for 3 years, and so he already knows the subtle nuances of the scheme. And so coming in every single day, learning from him. We go out there on the field and we can talk through things, see what he sees, and see how he would fit certain things, and getting comfortable with each other. That's still one of the things that we're still improving on as the season goes on. But I like where we're at, and Hitch has been great. He's been a great vet for me.
Kind of a simple question. You're obviously leading the team in tackles. If you went out to a Pop Warner group, what would be like the fundamentals that you would say, look, this is how you do this at the highest level?
Yeah, tackling, keeping your head up. That's the biggest thing. A lot of head injuries, go around tackling bad. And so being defense side of the ball, just tackling correctly is one of the biggest parts for me.
Nick, you're from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Did you grow up a Cowboys fan? And so who's your family going to be rooting for?
I didn't actually not grow up a Cowboys fan. My mom's a Steelers fan. My dad's a 49ers fan. So I was neutral. I really didn't have a team, just had players. And so as we go into this game, I got a lot of family coming, but not many of them are going to be Cowboys fans this week.
Who were your favorite players when you were growing up?
By far, linebacker-wise, like I said, my dad's 49ers fan, so Pat Willis, Bowman. I watched a lot of them growing up. Ray Lewis. Then as I got older, Bobby Wagner, Fred Warner. I was kind of watched a little bit more of those tape as they started developing a little bit more.
Okay, thanks, Nick.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yep.